I came back as an investor and as a true expat and somebody who really wanted to invest. And I found the right formula for investing in the country and being able to nourish and also be hopefully be part of something that's revolutionary. Well, hello and good morning to those of you in Jordan. Good afternoon for those of you in Japan and on the in the Asian part, and then good evening for those of you who are like myself are in North America. My name is Mohammad Qaddoura. I appreciate the very kind introduction by my good friend Dana. I'm honored to be part of this amazing panel of great, what I call colleagues and good friends and partners. I've had the pleasure of meeting all of them on multiple occasions and partnering together on building and working through the Youth Technology and Jobs program, a program that my company, IIH.ai, has been a beneficiary of this program. It gave us an opportunity to invest and also be part of something larger than ourselves, something that really give us a chance to build, just like His Excellency mentioned, and I think Mr. Yagamuchi mentioned as well, building a true ecosystem in the country that has a lot of potential and a lot of talent. So I'm honored to be joined by amazing colleagues, Ms. Dana Telegraph, the YTJ Director, Amira Qarqash, the Upskilling and Digital Skills Manager, and my good friend Audi Haddadin, the Business Sector Manager. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this. It's really a true honor and pleasure to be collaborating and be able to discuss this great success story that we can share with the rest of the audience here all the way to Japan. Why don't we start with Dana? Dana, we've talked about this before, and I think for those who may not be very familiar with the YTJ program, could you briefly maybe explain some of the objectives? I know it's something strategic. I know it's something that you guys worked on a lot and you continue to work on it. How is that aligned with the main objectives of what are the main objectives of the YTJ program and how it connects with the overall Jordan's digital economy strategy?
Thank you, first of all, Mohammed. I just want to say it's so heartwarming to hear all those testimonials about Jordan, seeing all these international firms working successfully from Jordan. So I just wanted to start with that. For those who do not know the Youth Technology and Jobs Project, it's a national initiative. Really, as you said, it's strategic. It's directly connected to the to Jordan's economic modernization vision. Its main goal really is simple but powerful. Basically, it's to create digitally enabled income opportunities in Jordan. And we do that by tackling both sides of the digitally skilled labor market. So we tackle the supply side. And how we did that is that, first of all, we started from a very young age. What we did is that we reformed the whole ICT curriculum for all public schools in Jordan. So grades 1 to 12. And the second thing we did is that we created an organization called DigiSkills. So DigiSkills' mandate is to upskill and train Jordanian youth on digital skills that are in high demand here in Jordan and internationally. And in terms of the demand side, so we have, first of all, Jordan Source, which you all heard a lot about through this webinar. So Jordan Source serves as like a launch pad for any international investor to come to Jordan, in addition to supporting the growth of local and international firms through offering like a wide range of grants, which Ode will talk about in more detail. But mainly we have employment subsidy, we have access to market grants, we have grants that has to do with the gig economy, supporting the gig economy as well. So together, all these interventions they position Jordan as a regional tech hub, and we've heard these words a lot through this webinar, but it's true. So it is a regional tech hub that stimulates private sector investment here in Jordan.
What a great segue, and thank you for sharing this. I think it's a great vision. I take pride in, I'm going to claim that I came up with this term first, is from Jordan to the world, okay? And I find this term, Dan and I kind of talked about this, I think it was almost 2 years ago, because I believe Jordan is on the crisp of making something very different, very unique, and providing unique skill set, building a true economy, building an ecosystem that's really sustainable, that serves the whole international market. So with that, I want to kind of talk about what are the opportunities for international companies to be able to explore perhaps Jordan as a base. As you know, my company, we started in the US. And then as I got to know more about the talent, for those of you who don't know, I grew up in Jordan, was born, raised in Jordan, but I've been in the US for almost 30 years now. And I came back as an investor and as a true expat and somebody who really wanted to invest. And I found the right formula for investing in the country and being able to nourish and also be hopefully be part of something that's revolutionary and on the journey of doing digital transformation for the country and helping other countries. So from that perspective, what are the opportunities and the things that other companies can explore by bringing their business to Jordan?
Through YTJ, basically we see it as offering an entry platform and a partnership ecosystem for all these international investors and digital firms. It offers a holistic, as I said before, so Jordan Source offers like a launch pad. So we offer landing spaces, we offer account management, support, connections, access to the market in terms of the first entry. And then we can support through the grants we offer. But also, as I said before, we have an established pipeline of talent, so a steady workflow. So far, we have around 7,900 highly skilled English-speaking Jordanian youth trained and ready for the labor market. So it's a steady workflow of talent that all these companies can benefit from. Something that I think we alluded to as well. So Jordan's location, I think Ruji mentioned that Jordan's central location is very attractive.
Absolutely.
We have and the competitive labor cost as well here in Jordan. So that's something that's a selling point. But through YTJ, and in short, because I know my colleagues will talk about the different grants that we offer. So in short, I just want to say that basically YTJ transforms Jordan into a digitally skilled, investment-ready ecosystem. And it creates this ideal platform for the international companies to come to Jordan, recruit talent, deliver services, and co-create innovation here in the region through Jordan. As I'm going to use your sentence, so from Jordan to the world. And YTJ is basically a key enabler for this to happen.
So what an amazing story to tell, the YTJ, and the passion that you have. I could see that in every word that you say. But also what I'm going to say is this, I tell my fellow people who are either investors or in technology or looking to see what is the potential in Jordan. It's really a win-win-win. It's a three-legged stool where the country and the government took an initiative that's a multi-year initiative that has all those incentives you talked about, starting from a younger age, not only for postgraduates. I know my company was a beneficiary of being able to do the upskilling and reskilling for fresh graduates. And then the beneficiaries of those were not just the companies and the private sectors like myself. It was really a partnership that eventually the beneficiaries were the population and also any other company who wants to come into the country and become part of that ecosystem, bring their investment, bring their technology, establish a new base for them, to your point, that is regionally well located, amazing location, great language skills when it comes to English, right? The ability to speak Arabic for sure, but English is really, the population in general, especially in the tech sector, is very well spoken in English. So let's transition a little bit to my friend Ode, and then would love to talk a lot about the incentives and the grants that are available through the YTJ for companies who are looking to establish their operations in Jordan.
Yes, of course. Hello, Mohammed. Long time, and wish to see you soon. Of course, in Jordan.
How are you?
Yeah. As you know already about our incentives. So as Dana mentioned before, and Dana Derwish before, so Jordan, our ambition for Jordan is to become a tech hub in the region, right? And in order for us to do this, we know all the competition around, but at the same time, we know our talents, we know our youth, and of course, my colleague Amir will explain more about how we are upskilling them and developing their skills further to fit the market needs today. So in order to do that and attract more companies and support them in Jordan, same as we do with our local and regional companies as well. The first thing is come to mind is that yes, come and try our youth, try our talent, and we'll mitigate some of the risks that any company, any international company can think of, basically. So we provide many incentives under Youth Technology and Jobs project, starting from salary subsidies to market expansion to the gig economy support, and eventually, lastly, the intermediary support. So salary subsidy, we pay 50% of salaries, no matter what the salary is, for a maximum of 6 months. So whether you are hiring a junior or fresh grad, or you're hiring a C-level or director level in Jordan, we subsidize 50% of that salary for up to 6 months, with a cap per company that reaches up to $300K US per year. And of course, you can apply to this incentive every year that you are in Jordan. And there is no limit on the employees or number of jobs that you are creating. So far, just like a tip of information, so far in the past 3 or 4 years,
and of course, this is an amazing incentive that's unheard of, right? I talk about the US being a capitalist market and supportive. You would not find any program around the world that is that generous and really shows the multi-year incentive and commitment from the government and the policy, and all the way from the top down, to make sure that those policies support a multi-year growth. So I know you guys are invested on the long run for this.
Definitely, Mohammed. And currently we are even working on enhancing this further, and hopefully there will be some great news by next year. But at the same time, just to show how much this is important, in the last 3 to 4 years, or less than 4 years, the number of jobs under this incentive created will reach 3,000 jobs by end of December this year. So this is a huge number comparing to the incentive itself. The other incentive is called market expansion. So any company coming to Jordan, establishing in Jordan, of course, they will benefit from all the incentives and facilitation from Jordan source. But at the same time, if you want to grow into the region and enlarge and scale their base there, they can benefit from our market expansion incentive, which covers 50% of the business development, marketing, and sales efforts in the region, as long as you are expanding from Jordan market, which is something recommended because of all the localization and the culture and the mindset that we talked about earlier. Definitely can be utilized when selling and scaling to the Gulf region, for example, or MENA region in general. The cap for this incentive is up to $100,000, covering, again, everything related to marketing, sales, and business development. On the other side, we have the gig incentive support, which, by the way, we are really looking for real, genuine partners that will help us actually train and upskill up to 200 individuals per grant, to basically teach them how to act and live as freelancers, and work with different economies around the world and serve different clients. And for that, we are granting up to $200K US dollars, covering 80% of the type of projects. Of course, more details can be discussed later on for any company interested in that matter. Last but not least, we have the intermediary support that we're looking for international partners and hopefully from Japan as well to help our Jordanian startups scale, open offices maybe in Japan, secure investments and clients. And we are granting those efforts up to $300K US dollars as a full grant, not a matching grant, hoping that our startups will reach different scales through those intermediaries.
Fantastic. Hopefully, those are great incentives that many of our Japanese friends and also Jordanian companies who want to expand into Japan, maybe some of the gaming industry, that sounds like very exciting and amazing talent and expertise that they can bring to the field. Moving to Amira, we'd love to kind of talk a little bit more about the skilling and upskilling. I know you've been a lot focused on that. So Jordan, in its young tech savvy population, I've seen that firsthand growing up in Jordan, surrounded by so many engineers and people wanted to be in the tech sector. But I think the paradigm shift has started a few years back. And I think the YTJ program is bridging that gap between the talent supply and the specific needs of the global companies. So what are those things that you see as amazing things that the YTJ program helps bridge the gap and ensure that, just like Dana was talking about earlier, that we are differentiated not only on price, but also on other matters that makes us competitive on a global scale?
Absolutely, Mohammed. Thank you. Well, as demonstrated throughout the webinar and in every conversation, Jordanian talent is one of Jordan's strongest competitive advantages. Education and continuous learning is part of our culture. And if we talk about it in numbers, on an annual basis, universities in Jordan qualify over 60,000 graduates in STEM majors, out of which are specialized in IT majors. 12,000 on an annual basis graduate from ICT majors that are most demanded and that are up to date. However, typically, there would be some employer-specific skills that they may lack. Therefore, through the YTJ project, we provide for all interested youth in Jordan to join intensive boot camps with qualified training service providers similar to IIH. Those are 4 to 6 months, depending on the employer's requirements and the potential that we see they may fit for.
That's, I think these are some amazing programs in place. Again, we've been beneficiaries of this, and we see ourselves as contributors, hopefully, to building a sustainable ecosystem. I think when we talk about the upskilling and reskilling initiatives, what are the specific maybe examples that really align and shows success of aligning the Jordanian talent with the international standards? We talked about maybe interpersonal skills, language skills. What other skills are we providing these trainees and people that are going through your programs to ensure that they meet the standard for international markets?
So what we do is that we, in collaboration with DigiSkills, we conduct the supply and demand gap analysis where we scan and try to identify the most demanded employer skills in terms of locally, regionally, and internationally. Based on those, we design our training programs, which is not one size fits all, so we allow a lot of room for employers to influence the design of the programs. However, we provide sufficient information for them to make informed decisions on what to prioritize in those training programs. Of course, as you mentioned, 21st century skills, language skills, and communication, critical thinking, independent learning, of course, are always on the top of the list, in addition to the most demanded technical skills. Now, what's trending is cybersecurity, AI, data analytics, of course, and we have the flexibility and adaptiveness to steer those boot camps and programs towards what's most demanded. Our models vary. The most effective model so far is when employers are directly engaged in the delivery and curriculum development, of course, and practical projects. And as Dana mentioned, we try to always start as early as possible. So one of the most impactful programs so far is the professional training and certification program we're delivering across all universities in Jordan in partnership with AWS, Microsoft, Oracle, Huawei, and several other large tech providers, where their practical projects and learning material are available to all Jordanian university students. And then we subsidize the exam vouchers in a way that by the time those students graduate, their skills are not just acquired, but they're also endorsed with an internationally recognized authorized certificate.
I think that's a great example of showing of how a sustainable training program and shows really a methodical way of how you going after meeting the standards for international markets and bridging the gaps. Hopefully, some of our Japanese friends and investors and those are tech enthusiasts kind of are hearing you and kind of taking notes and making sure that they are able to participate. So if they want to participate, those friends of ours in Japan or in other markets, and be able to take advantage of some of those retraining and upskilling programs that we have in Jordan, how can they participate in that?
Through the training grants. So under DigiSkills, DigiSkills manages and oversees the implementation of the training grants that are delivered by employers and training service providers, as mentioned earlier. We have several training grants that companies can apply for, international and local companies. And of course, partnerships are always encouraged in a way that they could apply for the on-the-job training grant, where they deliver their specific requirements. They qualify youth from 1 to 3 months. We provide a full coverage of the training cost, in addition to stipends and access to equipment for the trainees who join the program based on their selection criteria and selection process. And this is also available remotely. So if a Japanese company is interested in delivering such a program to Jordanian youth in order to identify potential talent to hire, such programs could be delivered remotely from where they are to Jordan, and then this would most likely give them an even further incentive to come to Jordan and work with Jordanian talent.
Fantastic programs. I think all in all, as you guys can see, and those of you hearing us on this panel, amazing speakers, amazing vision. It starts all the way from the leadership and the amazing programs that these amazing, talented people, when I tell you these are passionate about what they do, they are. You see the smile on their faces when they're doing their jobs. They mean it. The programs are real. We've participated in a lot of these programs. And I can't tell you how rewarding it is to be able to give somebody hope who graduated, cannot find a job, and now they feel that they are ready to hit the workforce and also be contributing and then be trained on the latest and greatest of technology. And I think this is something that I see again, is a collaboration between, it wasn't one company that was awarded these programs, it was multiple companies benefited from this. Multiple segments of the country benefited from this, and eventually we all building together block by block an ecosystem that's sustainable for many, many years to come and be able to be differentiated not only regionally, but also on a global scale. So I think I'm I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about paying it forward, but I think this is beyond that. You guys make us all feel like we need to work hard for that money. When Aude cuts you the check, hey, you worked hard for it. You gotta work hard for it, and you know that he wants to support you. He wants you to be successful, and I think that's what the message I would leave some of our fellow investors with who are considering Jordan as a destination is these are true programs that the government is truly incentivizing you to see the value of it, and they want you to be successful. It's not a one and done. It's something that's hopefully sustainable on the long run.